He looked at me and said, "Matt, everybody loves to talk about human trafficking, but no one wants to help the way you're asking. I would love your help."
We are Matt and Laura Parker here from the Exodus Road. I'm Laura, I serve as the CEO, and...
I'm Matt, and I serve as the Chief Investigations Officer here.
And the Exodus Road is an organization that combats human trafficking all around the world and right here in Colorado. We believe in a world where no human should be bought, sold, or exploited. We equip law enforcement to combat human trafficking crime. We partner with communities to protect the vulnerable through prevention education programming, and then we empower survivors as they walk into freedom with aftercare programming. You know, a lot of people think that slavery ended with the transatlantic slave trade, but actually human trafficking in modern day slavery is at an all-time high. Their estimates are that there are 50 million individuals today that are impacted by modern day slavery, and that's both labor trafficking and it's also sex trafficking. And that happens in nearly every country in the world, including the United States. In the US, the estimates are about 1 million individuals are current victims of human trafficking, and that includes victims right here in the state of Colorado and right here in our community in Colorado Springs.
Almost 13 years ago, Laura and I were living in Southeast Asia, running a children's home, and we didn't know anything about human trafficking. And we heard rumors in the community about traffickers going to these impoverished villages and deceiving families to basically give their children to them so those children could go find work in a larger city. But the work that was promised wasn't real, it was a lie. And these village leaders said, yeah, it happens all the time. In fact, we have a saying here in the village that there are no pretty girls in the village. And that was really our introduction to human trafficking. And from there, we were invited to work with law enforcement as consultants, just NGO consultants, to help identify what human trafficking looked like in the Southeast Asia region. I worked with police to determine what border crossings were the most common, where these children would be sold once they were tricked into a trafficking system. And that eventually led to a moment where we had identified a child who had been trafficked in Bangkok. And we were at the time living in Chiang Mai, which is north of Bangkok quite a bit. And I presented that to police, and they said, Matt, this is excellent information and we'd like to act on it. However, would you verify it? And this was my first undercover moment. I had the address of this place. I show up in a taxi, and for the first time, I'm walking down a red light district in my life, first time in my life. And it's just overwhelming. This red light's right off a major highway, and so you go from all this traffic and like normal Bangkok life down this alley where this neon lights are just popping, and there's just crowds and crowds of people, and then brothels that line both sides of the street with black curtains. And behind that black curtain are stages full of women with bathing suits on and numbers on their chest. And I'd never seen anything like this. But I knew that, there was this report of a child being sold in one of those brothels. You have all this kind of sensory overload with traffickers coming up trying to sell you women or child pornography, CSAM material. People are grabbing you, tugging on you, and that was pretty difficult that first time. I go inside the target location, I sit down, and there's women on the stage, and I just talk to the trafficker. I'm like, hey, how's this work? And they're like, well, don't worry, these girls don't speak English, they're Thai girls, so all you have to do is pick the number of the girl that they're wearing those numbers. Just choose the number that you want to have sex with. It's $45, and you can go upstairs and do whatever you want to with them for an hour. The child that was for sale on that stage, her name was Belle. I sat with her and I got to interview her, and she told me this story that I've now heard thousands of times. She said, Matt, I was tricked into coming to Bangkok. I'm a villager from the north. Somebody came in a truck and offered me a job working at a restaurant or a massage parlor so that I could send money home to my impoverished family. And we were very excited about that job possibility. But when I arrived here, they said there was no job and I would have to go with customers. I have to go with 10 a day, or there's interest on the debt that I owe for that transport and my lodging. And I don't know how to get home. My parents don't know where I'm at. Would you help me? She told me all this. And I've literally heard that story now thousands of times. And so I got the information of the trafficker and some of the women who were being sold in that brothel, and I went back north and met with Region 5 police, and I shared with them what I had discovered. And the police said, Matt, we've never seen anything like this. And so that first case and that first experience really wrecked Laura and I both. And that led to really the Exodus Road being born, was this idea that, look, if somebody just needs to advocate for freedom, represent that a child or someone's being abused in these establishments, and we can deliver that to police and they will act, we could do that. So that's really kind of the genesis story of the Exodus Road.
When we think about the impact that this community has been able to make, the Exodus Road community, over the course of the last 13 years, we've been able to partner with law enforcement to help free over 2,600 victims of human trafficking, and those are men, women, and children from sex trafficking and labor trafficking. We've also been able to work with law enforcement to help build successful cases so that we've been able to arrest over 1,300 traffickers and offenders of human trafficking crime. We've also been able to do prevention education programming that has impacted over 44,000 individuals worldwide. So another thing that we do here at the Exodus Road is we celebrate freedom, we celebrate impact. And one of the ways we do that is we actually write the names of survivors that we're able to partner with law enforcement to help free and rescue on rocks, along with the date of their rescue. And Matt was talking about our early days in Thailand. This is actually the very first rock, our very first rescue of a 15-year-old girl named Sarah, who we rescued in August of 2012 in Hat Yai, Thailand. And so it's a way for us to really document progress and know that while the issue of human trafficking is enormous and overwhelming, we can each have impact on one life, one rescue at a time, which is really inspiring and motivating for us, and really reminds us to keep going.
Golf tournament this September 16th. Please come out and play and have a blast. Also knowing you're not just having fun playing golf. The funds you invest to play golf will empower the Exodus Roads investigations team to partner with police to conduct a rescue mission and free someone trapped in slavery, a child, a mother, a father who's been lured into a situation they cannot escape without your support. So let's free those trapped in slavery while playing golf this September 16th. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the course.